Hello there, and welcome to the very first episode of my new tutorial series for the Dyson Sphere program Rise of the Dark Fog update. This is my new tutorial that will guide you from the very basic beginnings to the end of the challenges. We're going to build everything together, do the solar expansion and all those things. This is intended to be sort of a Let's Play series where I will be explaining how things work while doing them together with you. I will, of course, skip over unnecessary lengths or unimportant things wherever I can. Now, we're going to get started by selecting a new game, and you can use this cluster seed to play along at your own end, and I'll be leaving all the settings at the basic levels. We will be playing a very standard scenario with no optimizing and nothing, because at the end, the starting position is always quite okay, and your environment will always be something you can work with, one way or another. So let's get started. The beginning of the game, we get to skip the prologue, or you don't do so because you want to see the entire video. We're just landing on the planet that we're going to start here, and at the very beginning, we don't have anything except for our little robot here that you can command with WASD or just by right clicking on the terrain. And the very first things that we got to do here is we need to set up a base camp, because our big task up ahead is to build a Dyson sphere to send energy back to our home people that depend on this energy to live there. So we got here around us copper, iron, coal, and I'm pretty sure that somewhere will be some stone lying around. If you press C, you get your mecha panel, where your fuel chamber is at, your weaponry, and all other different informations about your mech, which is basically your character model. You have also your inventory over here, and if you press F as the hotkey, you open up the replicator, which is basically, if you come from Factorio, your handcrafting inventory. You can pretty much craft everything you have researched out of the inventory here. All we need are materials. As we see here, these things require various ores, stones, and whatnot. So to collect some of that stuff, we're going to get started by right-clicking a tree to pick it up. So we go on over there, tree goes down, and we collect some logs and plant fuel. You can then put these into your fuel chamber. You can also just hold left shift and left click them. Does the same thing. So fuel for the fuel chamber, we can put all manner of combustible things in there. It is of course way more effective to go, for example, for coal. So we can just right click there, and this coal field is much more has much more coal than the trees. So you see here we have 41 grand of coal that we could harvest from here. A few of these will suffice. Pressing C now and put these into the tank. So if you want to have some efficient fuel, you can also right-click your starting landing pad, and you will gain some fuel canisters out of that. I will be explaining the different qualities of fuel over the course of the series, but for starters, these are things that keep your mecha running. By the way, the battery icon down there is your mecha's battery, and once that is empty, you will be crawling and moving very, very slow, but you will be always able to get yourself some energy back into your core. So pressing C, we open up the mecha panel one more time and put these high quality hydrogen fuel rods in there. These provide lots of energy, are much more effective than the low quality things, but at the end of the day, they all do exactly the same. Now, our first objective is now to unlock the ability to build ourselves machines to get started here. As you see, we have nothing that we can't build, so we need to go into the technology tree, also accessible by pressing T. So we start our adventure here at this point, and this is the current complete tech tree. When we select electromagnetism, we can here unlock wind turbines, Tesla towers, and mining machines. Good starting suite, what we need are 10 magnetic coils. You press on activate, and then you see that we want to research this. Checkmarked, use items in inventory, very important, because that means stuff that is in our inventory will be used for the research. So press F to open up that and check out what we need here. magnetic coils. Luckily, we have the recipe for that, and if you have pilfered your starting base, you have also the materials that you require. So, press produce 5 times. Every production cycle produces 2 of these, and good to go we are. So, as you see here, the stuff is going into my pocket, and now a timer runs down, and every time it does, we process one of these goodies. So, to pass some time in between, I'll be just right-clicking on one of those iron veins, and I'll start drilling here. As you see here, I'm grabbing up iron ore, and that will be used for many, many different things. So, we've researched our very first technologies. We have now access to wind power, which is just your everyday, simple energy producer. We got Tesla towers, which are basically connection wire thingies. They connect machines with each other, and mining machines, well, they do what you might think they'd do. So we're going to set up the mining machine here on this iron ore patch. So as you see here, we have a grid. We move that, and if we press R, we can rotate the machine. We want, of course, to get all of the different things here under the machine, and if you hold down left shift while holding down R, you can also rotate it seamlessly. Sometimes very, very useful. So we're going to place that down like this. I want to have the exit into this direction. You see that little light white square at the left end of the machine? This is where the product will be coming out later down the road. Okay, so the machine is now ready. It does require some power though. So we're picking up the wind turbine. The blue circle is the vicinity around itself before it can be hosting another wind turbine. You just left click there and you place it down. Congratulations, your first power producer. Now you place down the Tesla tower right next to that, and here we go. The mining machine is working. So if you click the wind turbine, you can now have the readout that it produces 300 kilowatt and the mining machine demands 420 kilowatt. It's already really important to note here that the machine is still running even if we don't have the full power provided. It will just run slower, that's all. Now, we can now pick up iron out of that machine. To do so, you hold down left control and left click that to pick it up directly out of the machine. So we can now go over here and craft ourselves a couple of magnets because we've used them all up. These are made out of iron ore, and let's head back to the technology tree. We can now produce for ourselves also wind turbines and all these machines by just using the materials there that we can mine. But we can, of course, and should, of course, unlock other things. So I want to go towards either automatic metallurgy or basic assembling next. I personally prefer automatic metallurgy. This opens up arc smelters, which are basically processing things for you. So we need now 10 magnets and 10 circuit boards. So we produce these again in our pocket, and here we have now a lack of copper ingots. Well, we're going to change that by just sitting there and drilling some. I want to mention that you can craft and drill at the same time, so feel free to collect material and process it right at the same time. Okay, so we got to produce ourselves now, again, these circuit boards. You always produce 2 at the same time, and I just keep drilling here for some more copper ore because that is just useful to have. We will need it for many other projects down the road. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to right click these boulders that are lying around. These provide me rock that I'll need for several different buildings up along the way without needing to go over to the stone veins and mine it there. Can get yourself some rocks for your starting projects. Okay, we've unlocked the arc smelter, which is basically a processing machine for all sorts of ore. We will now go over there though and build ourselves like 2 more wind turbines, and as you see here, I am automatically crafting the necessary items that I don't have. The game just automatically strings up the items and produces them for me. You also get a readout about how many seconds you will actually be busy with that. So the next thing that I want to research is basic assembling. This offers us assembling machines. These are basically doing the same stuff as I am doing here in my inventory, just automatically for me. And that's another really important thing. Meanwhile, I'm stringing up 10 more circuit boards and 10 gear wheels to get that research down. Okay, next step, we set up those wind turbines, because obviously we will need more power, especially if we want to smelt or something. Now, we will set up the wind turbines, and as you see here, it's too close to another one. The easiest trick that I know of is you hold your cursor exactly down on the existing one, and then you hold down the left mouse button, and then you just move into the direction where you want to build. It's automatically pacing them in an ideal way. This is the minimal distance between two wind turbines. So we have now an output of 900 kilowatt, which is by no means anything big or so, but it'll provide some power for our smelting ops. So we're going to place down the arc smelter, and I want to produce myself another mining machine while I'm at it, and another Tesla tower, because we can use these. Research has provided us with assembling machines, and I quickly want to point out that when you research a new tech in this game early on, you always get a few buildings of this tech for free, which can be sometimes extremely useful. So we are going to put down the smelters that I also got as a reward for researching this, place them down, and now left click them to select a recipe. I will configure this guy to produce iron ingots for me, this guy to produce copper ingots for me, and this guy to produce magnets for me. So now we move on over to the iron ore, and we can now, if I remember correctly, where was it? Yeah. Ah, well, I can't remember how to split stacks anymore. I'm very sorry. I'll look that up. So we're going to pick up that stack of iron ore, hold down left control and left click to fill the machine to its full extent. Here again, hold down left control, left click to pick up the iron ore out of the machine. Here again, left click, hold down left control, left click, putting these things inside the machines. Boom. Just like that. We're now going to put up another mining machine on this one. Here again, holding down left shift to rotate seamlessly to get all the ore nodes. There we go. And now we just put a Tesla tower right next to this machine. And now we got a steady supply of copper for us. So we can pick that up now. And again, pick it up, toss it inside there. Now, hold down left control and left click to extract the goods. Here we go. So we got now iron ingots, copper ingots, magnets, all manner of different things that we wanted to. So I'll be continuing for now by producing a couple of extra wind turbines for me. These are more than necessary, and our machines here are providing ore for us, and we can just feed our machines like that. In the early game, you will need much more iron plates rather than magnets, so don't overproduce yourself on magnets. You see that lightning bolt icon here is depicting that our machines are drawing much more power from the grid than we are producing. Actually, we need more than double of what we're producing. That is why I'm so keen on producing more wind turbines. So we will place them down now, just like that. You can also go this way and expand it then this way. Alright. Every wind turbine at the beginning of the game, or generally has the same power output constantly. The wind strength is a constant in this game, which is not really super realistic, but is at least something that you can calculate with. Okay, we got the wind turbine down, so now we can collect new materials and toss things inside there. And this is all fine and dandy, but it is really nothing you want to keep doing forever. So we should be starting to research something else, and that's a basic logistics system. This provides us conveyor belts and grabbers, they're called sorters here, which transport things from one machine to another. We are also going to put down now one of our assembling machines, and we're going to order it to produce us gears. So we're just going to slap down the iron ingots in there, and the gears will be produced for us while we are producing the remaining circuit boards in our pocket. This way, we get both things done at the same time. Just left click and hold down Control and left click to receive. So, this is a easy way of getting yourself early game things done. We're going to produce ourselves another mining machine because I want to plug it in to the coal patch down here, and I'm also going to handcraft me some Tesla towers so we can connect that beauty up here. So if you hold down left shift and left click a machine, you can copy it. As you see here, I just have the same machine now on the cursor. This is a very, very useful little trick to get yourself the stuff that you need faster. So I'm placing down the coal miner now. Here we have researched the basic logistics, but most importantly, we also have unlocked now the ability to automate things for real. So I'm putting down some Tesla towers between here and there, as this coal mining machine is now providing an endless source of fuel for me, as the hydrogen fuel rods have been used up real quick. Everything you do uses up energy, you know. While I'm moving, I use up energy. While I'm producing stuff, I use up energy, and so on and so forth. So we will be now producing ourselves in our pocket a couple of arc smelters, or so I thought. As you see here, I'm running out of iron to work with, so let's change that ASAP. We're going to rip out these machines and reuse them properly. So use the dismantle facilities command by hotkey X, and we just do this like that. You always get 100% back, so you never have to worry in any way in this game about anything like wasting things or misplacing things. You can always replace stuff. So the conveyor belts we got, it's only 20, but they'll get the job done. You click at your mining machine to start the belt, and then we get on over here and we place down a couple of pieces of belt. We don't need much, really, only this mini thing will be enough. So we put down one arc smelter right next to that, just like that, and another one right there, just like that. We now configure them to produce iron plates and magnets, respectively, and now we use the sorters we got to connect the belt with the machine. So you click on the belt and you move it towards the machine. Boom and boom. Mind you that every machine has up to 3 connectors here that you see, so you can have a maximum of 3 of these connectors. And as you see also, they share when they're opposite. So that means a grand total of 3 inserters have to be shared between these 2 machines if you string it up like that. We will be talking about these things a lot more in the future. So what's missing now is a bit of power. Let's place it down like that. And now what's happening is the miner is outputting iron ore here, and we have that automatically transformed into the stuff that we require, just like that. Now we set up the same little procedure for copper, and now we have an somewhat automated supply of these resources. I mean, this is far from being powerful or anything like that, but it is, after all, a solid start, keeping your hands free from producing these these basic materials all manually by yourself. So I also placed down a real cluster of these Tesla towers, as I know we will be ripping out most of these things later down the road anyways. So refill the coal into the chamber. You can always use a little bit of that, or put it into the mining machines to empty up your inventory. We have now a lot of things available, so let's get started with researching the electromagnetic matrix technology. This is the first real technology, so to say, as it is the unlock for the entire science menu of the game. We're just quickly producing the materials for that. It's going faster and faster as we have our first steps of automation already down. So we can now go down here to grab ourselves some fresh coal for our fuel chamber. It's also worth mentioning that it works this way around, so the clusters up front are used up as first. If you want to focus something in particular, can be useful at times. And now we got all these basics down. the very first thing that I want to do here is I want to pull a small piece of belt here, put up a thingy here to output these, and we're going to automate one particular production right from the beginning. And this is one production I am always very, very happy to have it automated right from the get-go. So we don't produce much, but that little that we produce we will be using wisely right now. So I put down one assembly machine here and another one right next to it. So we're going to produce at this assembling machine gear wheels, and at this assembling machine conveyor belts. Conveyor belts are the one resource you need tons of, quite from the beginning. We're going to handcraft ourselves some of these sorters. These should be mass-produced quickly as well, but you can't do it all at once. So you connect the sorter here, or you connect the iron plates to that, then you connect this guy over to that. Let's see, can we place these closer? Sometimes you can place machines close, sometimes you can't. The planetary curvature here plays a role. Yes, we can place them closer, just like that. So we connect them now like that. And now this machine produces conveyor belts for us. The downside here is that the machine itself can store only a very low amount of conveyor belts at a time. It will stop producing once a certain threshold has been reached. Here you see it, 30 or 50, I don't know. Here, 30 it is, and now it stops producing. This is of course not really good, as we need hundreds, if not thousands of pieces of build. So we're going to produce ourselves a Depot Mark 1, which is just bluntly said a storage unit, and we're going to order our machines to put that stuff inside the box, so to say. Now, we put down the box there, connect it up with a sorter, and now we select the box, and we shift that bar here. As you see here, these red markings are the amount of slots that are allowed inside the box. What this does is I will tell my machine to not produce more than two full inventory stacks of conveyor belts, because I don't want them to produce conveyor belts until this box is full, because at the end of the day you need to move these things across. They don't move for you. So this little machine now provides us conveyor belts while we are busy with other things, which is really, really important, as we need to do a lot of things along the way. Now, we have now unlocked electromagnetic matrices. These are science currency, so to say. While we were researching our beginning technologies with all manner of different materials, the upcoming technologies all have the cost of these blue cubes. Later down the road, we will also have other colored cubes. So if you come from Factorio, this might be very, very familiar to you. So at the end of the day, we can now unlock various other technologies by producing these blue science cubes, and we are using them exactly the same way as we were using the technology modules previously. But you can also automate that process now. So we're going to go and unlock the universe exploration here manually. We're also going to unlock the mecha core in a hot minute, but I want to start with that. So, universe exploration allows you to view the ore distribution on your planet. We're going to handcraft ourselves a couple of electromagnetic matrices to begin with. So these guys are made out of these magnets and these circuit boards. These are all ingredients that we are by now familiar with. They are nothing special, they are nothing new, and we can easily acquire them, as we know. And here it's the same procedure as before. We're consuming the electromagnetic matrix to unlock the technology. If we use a matrix lab, though, we unlock these now, place it down, we can now select either if we want to produce cubes in here, or if we want to consume cubes in here. We don't want to do our technology research all the time on your mech himself. This is just sort of a baseline introduction thing. So, Universe Exploration 1. I did research this out of two particular reasons. For one, it is a very, very low-cost technology that can be easily researched. For another thing, you get here, click down here for the detailed display, you gain the ability to see where veins are on the entire planet. So if you press M now, after activating this little icon here, you can finally see where which resource is to be found on this planet and in which density. So this is a real huge step forward for us, as it allows us to work much more precisely and much more... We have some orientation on the board, to put it down in blunt words. So this tab, by the way, is all upgrades for your mech. So you can upgrade here your energy capacity, how fast you move, how fast your construction drones move. You can fly, you can research yourself an energy shield. Tons of different things are to be found here, but they all need these tech cubes. So the acquisition of these tech cubes will be now one of our first real bigger goals in the game. This, though, will be something I will be delaying for the next episode, because we are already pretty well off with getting the basics down. You now know how to mine, you now know how to process things, you now already know how to put up assembly machines and use them to some degree. We're going to put an automated system of technology down in the next episode, showing you how to produce these blue cubes automatically, and how to get the technology down sustainably. It's not that hard. It is really just the baseline entry there. It's going to become much more complicated and difficult later. This is just the intro. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the ride so far. We're going to continue next episode, and I'll be probably also needing to explain a little bit of that combat system next time, as we might get attacked. So I thank you so much for being around. Thanks for watching this. I deeply appreciate having you around. We're going to get done a lot of things next episode. If you want to prepare yourself there, you need a couple of fresh arc smelters and inserters, or I'm sorry, sorters. I keep calling them inserters, as I have played a little bit of Factorio along the way. Okay, my friends. See you all next time. A comment down there would be really appreciated. Thumbs up and subscriptions as well. Check out the description box down there. There is a link to Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee. I'd be delighted if you'd give them a look. A big thanks to all the supporters of the channel. I couldn't do this without you, and I deeply appreciate you guys. But I also appreciate everybody watching these videos a lot, because they would be really worthless without you guys. So, thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you will be tuning in next time when we start mass-producing science and other goodnesses. So, see you there, and have a good one.